Starting a career in the NFL is hard enough. Sustaining one is even harder. With the average career lasting just over 3 years, the margin for error is razor thin. Between the constant threat of injury, coaching changes, and performance dips, even talented players can find themselves on the outside looking in. That's why the approach a rookie brings to the game can make all the difference, and Pittsburgh Steelers rookie quarterback Will Howard is showing early signs that he gets it. Howard, a national champion from Ohio State, is entering his first NFL season with the one thing many young quarterbacks wish they had: a clear head and a veteran mentor who's been there, done that, and still has plenty of wisdom to offer. That mentor just happens to be future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, who's now donning black and gold in what may be the final chapter of his storied career. For Howard, the chance to learn from a 41-year-old Super Bowl champion isn't just a bonus. It's the blueprint. "I'm going into this season wanting to learn everything I can from Aaron Rodgers," Howard said in an interview with Pat McAfee and his crew on Friday. It's a mature perspective from a rookie, especially one currently sidelined with a finger injury on his throwing hand. The Steelers placed Howard on injured reserve to begin the season, a tough pill for most rookies, but one Howard is using as a silver lining. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the perfect position to develop Will Howard the right way. While others might be eager to rush back or frustrated at the setback, Howard is leaning into the long game. His mentality is refreshingly simple: learn, absorb, and be ready when the time comes. Rodgers' presence in Pittsburgh is already having an impact, both in the locker room and on the field. His willingness to mentor a potential successor shows a level of leadership not often seen in aging quarterbacks with legacy concerns. For Rodgers, this isn't just about playing out the clock. It's about leaving something behind. Howard, for his part, is listening. The young quarterback is taking mental reps, watching film alongside Rodgers, and approaching every meeting with intention. He's not just waiting for his turn, he's preparing for it. And Steelers fans should take comfort in that. The future of the franchise is quietly being molded behind the scenes, and it's clear Howard has the right mindset to make a lasting impact. Resting this season may not be ideal, but in the long run, it could be the smartest move the Steelers make. If Howard continues to show this level of maturity and patience, combined with the tools he already possesses, Pittsburgh may have found its quarterback of the future. It's early, but Will Howard is already proving that attitude, not just ability, is what shapes a lasting NFL career. Le'Veon Bell, Najee Harris, James Conner, Rashard Mendenhall, all 4 running backs led the Pittsburgh Steelers in rushing at least 3 different seasons. But none of them received a contract extension from the Steelers. As of Monday, though, former undrafted free agent Jaylen Warren has. Aura Sports Group, who is the agency that represents Warren, announced on social media Monday the running back is signing a 2-year extension with the Steelers. League-wide insider Ian Rappaport of NFL Network and Steelers insiders, such as the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulock, confirmed the announcement. Steelers are giving RB Jaylen Warren a new 3-year deal that runs through the 2027 season. Warren entered the 2025 offseason as a restricted free agent. The Steelers retained him, while allowing Harris to leave in unrestricted free agency by tendering him a 1-year deal. Before Monday's extension, Warren was set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2026. The new deal will keep the 26-year-old in Pittsburgh for another 3 seasons, including 2025. Rappaport reported Warren's deal will pay him $7 million this season and includes $12 million guaranteed. Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora posted on X that Warren is the first Steelers running back to sign a contract extension in 19 years. Prior to Monday, the last running back to agree to an extension with the team was Willie Parker. Jaylen Warren is the first #Steelers running back to receive a contract extension since Willie Parker signed a 4-year deal in August 2006. Long time coming. Well-deserved for Warren, a former UDFA like Parker. Jaylen Warren announces contract extension. It's fitting that Warren is the first Steelers running back with an extension since Parker. Like Parker 20 years ago, Warren came to the Steelers as an undrafted free agent. During his second season, Parker replaced more established running backs Jerome Bettis and Deuce Staley in the starting lineup to begin the 2005 season. As a first-year starter, Parker rushed for 1,202 yards. To conclude that campaign, he set a Super Bowl record with a 75-yard rushing touchdown early in the third quarter of Pittsburgh's 21-10 victory to win the franchise's fifth championship. Warren signed with the Steelers as an undrafted free agent in 2022. At the time, Harris was coming off a rookie season where he led the NFL in touches and made the Pro Bowl. That's different from Parker's story, as Parker replaced two aging running backs who were injured to begin the 2005 campaign. But as a rookie, Warren slowly cut into Harris's playing time. In his second season, Warren averaged 5.3 yards per carry, running for 784 yards and 4 touchdowns. In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Steelers drafted Iowa running back Caleb Johnson in the third round. Warren is expected to continue sharing the Steelers' backfield with Johnson. But Pittsburgh has Warren listed as the team's RB1 on the team depth chart. Concerns about Warren's contract extension. Pundits won't be able to fully react to Warren's extension news until the full financial details of the agreement are public. But depending on those details, there are risks to the Steelers finally inking a running back to an extension. Harris, Bell, Connor, and Mendenhall all had much more success than Warren, but didn't sign a contract extension in Pittsburgh. To be fair, there were a variety of reasons those backs didn't stay with the team. The Steelers tried to sign Bell, but he held out an entire season to try and get a better deal. Mendenhall became a controversial figure with the team and off the field by the time he needed an extension. As for Harris and Connor, the Steelers preferred drafting a new running back as opposed to signing either to an extension. Ironically, the Steelers selected Harris in 2021 to replace Connor. With all of this in mind, it's curious that Warren was the back to receive an extension from the Steelers. Warren has never started an NFL game. He's never been a featured back or led the team in any statistical category for an entire season. Parker was entering his second season as a starter when he signed his extension. Warren has averaged 4.8 yards per carry. That's led pundits to argue that he can be a featured back. He just needs more carries. But fumbling has been a concern with Warren. He's fumbled about 1.5% of his touches in the NFL. Harris fumbled roughly 0.3% of his touches in his Steelers tenure. That could explain why Harris continued to start the past 2 years even though Warren was the more efficient back. Warren, though, will get the opportunity to prove he can right his fumbling issue and be the guy in the Steelers' backfield. If he finishes his contract extension, Warren will have played in Pittsburgh longer than any running back in nearly 2 decades. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't acquire Terry McLaurin, who requested a trade from the Washington Commanders on July 31st. McLaurin and the Commanders eventually agreed to a new deal to keep him in Washington. But if the Steelers are still in the wide receiver market, they could have another shot at acquiring a wideout seeking a new contract, Las Vegas Raiders' Jakobi Meyers. Steelers Now's Derek Bell answered, unequivocally yes, to a mailbag question Friday about whether the team should pursue the Raiders receiver on the trade market. Meyers has been one of the most consistent complementary pass catchers for quite some time now and is coming off his first 1,000-yard campaign despite missing a couple of games while also suffering through dreadful quarterback play, wrote Bell. He's got good size with great hands to make plays in traffic, can win versus man coverage from all 3 positions, X, Z, and slot, and is a willing run blocker that can play in a condensed split for them. Meyers posted 87 catches, 1,027 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns in 15 games last season. His receptions and receiving yards were new career highs. But while 2024 was his first 1,000-yard season, as Bell explained, Meyers has been very productive for quite some time. During his first season with the Raiders in 2023, Meyers posted a career-best 8 touchdowns. From 2021 to 23, he reached at least 800 receiving yards each year. Meyers also had 729 receiving yards during 2020. ESPN's Ryan McFadden reported on August 25th that Meyers requested a trade from the Raiders. The receiver is entering the final year of his current contract. Raiders' Jakobi Meyers requests trade. Players putting public pressure on their teams with trade requests has become a popular trend this year. Before McLaurin did it, Myles Garrett was the first NFL star to request a trade seemingly as a negotiating tactic. It worked for both Garrett and McLaurin. Both received new deals with their current teams. The tactic was successful for edge rusher Micah Parsons as well, but in a different way. On Friday, the Dallas Cowboys fulfilled Parsons' trade request, moving him to the Green Bay Packers. Meyers isn't on the same level of stardom as those other three players, but he is trying the same approach to land a new deal. McFadden, though, cast doubt over whether the Raiders are going to budge. The Raiders and Meyers have been unable to come to terms on a new deal, McFadden wrote. Las Vegas, however, has no plans to move on from Meyers, according to a source. It doesn't seem likely that the Raiders will trade Meyers before the season. However, since he's in a contract year and Las Vegas isn't expected to compete in the tough AFC West, Meyers could be a trade deadline target for teams before November 4th. What Meyers could bring to Steelers. The Steelers have been linked to quite a few veteran receivers over the past week. That's not surprising given the team's lack of receiver star power. But the team isn't likely to move the needle all that much with a flyer. If the Steelers add another receiver, it should be one who could push Calvin Austin 3 for the WR2 role opposite DK Metcalf. Meyers would do that. Bell argued Meyers would also give the Steelers' passing game an element it's badly missing. Meyers is very different stylistically from anyone else they currently employ on the roster, with his most glaring weakness being that he's not an extraordinary athlete that doesn't create a ton of explosive plays, but the Steelers have a plethora of team speed, Bell wrote. What they need most is a chain mover. Metcalf and Austin each averaged at least 15 yards per catch last season. Veteran Scotty Miller has averaged 14.4 yards per reception the past 2 years, and Roman Wilson was a big play receiver in college. To complement those receivers, the Steelers need the next Hines Ward or Deontay Johnson. The target quarterback Aaron Rodgers will look for on third and medium. Meyers has posted 393 receptions for 4,592 receiving yards and 20 touchdowns in 91 NFL games. He began his career with the New England Patriots as an undrafted free agent in 2019. 2 years later, Meyers was a 16-game starter. In addition to Metcalf, Austin, Miller, and Wilson, the Steelers have veteran receiver Ben Skowronek on their roster as a fifth wideout. However, Skowronek is expected to contribute more on special teams than offense this season.